So it's a little bit of a difficult question. To compare the two events is like comparing, a regional cycling event to the Tour de France. I can't really, merge the two ideas completely, but you get a perspective of where you want the event to kind of grow towards. I'd say that was the biggest element that I learned from going to Dakar. It was the sheer magnitude and how big of an event you can actually create. It's two completely different facets, but to see how the show is put on the grandest scale and the biggest stage was really eye-opening for me, and it showed me what was possible. So I would say the future of the Motor Route of Africa looks very bright, and there's a lot of big ideas that have now started growing, and we'll try and implement a few smaller changes to try and get there over the next couple of years. I actually thought it was really enjoyable. I had a good experience doing it, and it wasn't as strenuous as I anticipated. So I'm not sure if that was due to the prep that I had done, and I was so mentally prepared for like the toughest experience ever that it turned out to be not as tough. But I think it can be extremely tough. So if you go there unprepared, or you start to lose your cool, and you don't take things slow and meticulous with your preparations and that, you can get flustered very quickly. And, I think it'll have a trickle down effect, and, it can become really, really tough. So the trick is to not have any issues along the way, don't have any crashes or break anything, because, if you have to spend 3-4 hours, 5 hours plus fixing your bike, it kind of like starts to stack up really quickly, because that's 5 hours less of recovery. It's, eats into your sleep time. And then the next day, it kind of just builds up as you go. So I was really fortunate, and I think how I planned to run my event, and work on my bike, and the structure I put in place made it relatively easy for me to get through it unscathed. And the fact that I didn't have any crashes or any major issues helped a lot as well. But yeah, it was an exciting experience. And like you say, the truest form of Dakar, to be by yourself, taking on the elements, working on the bike yourself, changing everything, doing everything, setting up your own tent. It was a really exciting experience. And it's cool because you have, 20, 30 like-minded people in this class with you as well. So it was a really exciting experience, and one that requires good management to see it through properly. So I think to any motorsport family or any motorsport enthusiast, off-road bike rider, of Dakar, and it is the pinnacle of our sport, and it's something that many people, dream to one day be a part of. And we were no different. As a family, every January, we were glued to the TVs watching Dakar. From when I was a little boy, as far back as I can remember, we watched Dakar. Same as everyone else, same as everyone did this year. And through our racing family, we got to know people that obviously went to go and tackle this event. Alfie Cox, the pioneer for the country at Dakar, and one of our close friends, Elmer Simmons, he went in 2007 to go compete in Dakar. And Elmer, he raced for my father for many years. My father ran a race team, so Elmer actually lived with us for many years, and then raced around the country with us. And he was like my older brother. So he went to Dakar in 2007, and unfortunately, on stage 4, he had a crash and was pronounced dead on the scene. Really, it was like a big shock to us. I mean, we all know the risks that are associated with racing, and I mean, we all accept them, but I mean, it was still a big shock to us. And he went there and never came back. So the whole event lost its appeal to us completely. As a family, January came, and we didn't have that passion and excitement around Dakar anymore. Like it lost its flair. And as the years went on, my racing career kind of started, and I started spending more time racing. And year after year, we'd achieve certain goals, and we'd do certain things, and I'd race overseas, or become a South African champion. And as you step through these achievements and goals, you start looking for the next goal and the next goal. And slowly Dakar started to kind of creep back up into the picture. And yeah, it was also a funny story on how the whole Dakar thing came about. And I finally won my 450 Premier Championship in 2020. So I was looking for a new challenge, kind of going forward, 2021. And I made a phone call to our ASO rep, Daryl Curtis, here in South Africa, to find out what the requirements were to go to Dakar. Set up an account on the website, and before I knew it, I had a phone call from Daryl, and he said, "Wow, your entry's been accepted. You can go to Dakar." And I didn't even plan to go to Dakar. I was just trying to get information about it. So it all came about so quickly. And the idea was to get back to Dakar, but the true feeling behind it was to go and finish that journey that Elmer started. He went to Dakar to accomplish something, and to finish it, and try and start a career in it. And that was my main objective, to go to Dakar, to start. So it's kind of like difficult, like the whole result thing here, because I went to Dakar without the intention to look at results for 2022. I wanted to go and finish, and like I said, tick that box and just get through the event safe. But the racing side of me wanted to compete as well. So it was hard to keep that in check, but I did. I rode the whole event safe, so the results weren't very important to me this year, but I'm still happy with where I finished. I think I was 34th overall and 4th in the original bimotor class, which it's respectable, and I'm happy with. And I know I've got a lot more pace left in the tank. So the goal going forward is to definitely go to Dakar and other rallies and race now. I've been there. I've ticked the box. I've finished it. I've started that journey, completed step 1, and now it's step 2 to go and race and show what we can really do. Cool. A typical day is tough. So a typical day will probably start off with a 3 o'clock or 3:30 alarm. The alarm will go off. You lie in bed thinking, why am I doing this? It's so early for the first 2 minutes. Then you'll start putting on your kit, pack up your sleeping bag, and blow down your mattress, or pack up your mattress, move everything out of your tent, pack down your tent, pack up the tent into a bag, kind of move all the stuff that you've got prepared for the day to one side, put your tent in the box that's now prepared for the next day, because the truck's going to now take it somewhere else. Then that's now probably about 4:30 now. Head and go have some breakfast. Come back just before 5. Get the last finishing touches of your kit put on, your air vests, put your water in, your snacks for the day. Put all your warm gear on because it's freezing there in the mornings. And then probably start between 5 and 5:30, depending on your finish the day before. You then do a 100 to 200k liaison on tar roads. So you're limited to 120 k's an hour, and you'll basically ride from the bivouac to the start of the special stage for the day. You get there at about 7, 8, and you're usually there about half an hour before your start time. So you take all your warm gear off, and then prepare to start the day. So 20 minutes before your start time, you'll go into a holding paddock, and they'll give you your road book for the day, which then you'd have to feed into your navigation tower. Another fun perk of Dakar. And then you'd actually start the race, and you do probably between 200 and 400 kilometers of racing, which will take you anywhere from 4 hours to 6 hours, for the top guys, and anywhere from 6 hours to 10 hours for the slower guys. So I'd usually finish those at about 1 o'clock, between 1 and 2. And then we'd have another 100 to 200K liaison back to the bivouac or towards the next bivouac. So then you'd get to the bivouac at about 3 o'clock. And then you'd only have to start working on your bikes and prepping everything. So 3 o'clock, you'd get to the bivouac, have to go and find your tent and sleeping bag and all of that in the boxes that were packed on the truck. Get your tent, get your sleeping bag, set it up, and then you've got your accommodation set up for the night. Now it's probably about 4 o'clock. Then you go and start working on your bike. Make sure everything's sorted and prepped for the next day. So you change oil filters, tires and mousses if you needed to that day, and kind of give the bike a good once over for the next hour or so. So now you're looking at about 6, 7 o'clock, depending on what you need to do. A quick shower and some food. 8 o'clock, hopper state, and 9 o'clock in bed to do it all over. So it's a crazy day at Dakar.